That was hands down the worst January transfer window I've ever seen. Please tell me we've got something interesting instead.
Well, we can't review that, so we're going through the top 5 January signings of all time and the top 5 worst January signings of all time.
Stay with us. So this week on football, we have got January transfers to go through. Obviously, it was a nightmare. Headlines from the January transfer window this year have been 40 million, 50 million maybe for Strand Larsen, which is outrageous. We had Dwight McNeil go for 20 million as well.
That's about it.
And there was a signing for Liverpool for 60-something million quid.
That's not even for this window, so it doesn't count. Okay?
Yeah, boring.
Doesn't count. Mateta failed. That's probably a half-decent story.
Yeah.
Other than that,
yeah,
we got nothing to go on.
We got nothing to go on.
Do you want a shortlist for the top 5?
Yeah. So we're going to do top 5 worst January transfer signings so far in our lives ever.
Okay. There are a few going back, so you have to cast your minds back.
Done. I'm there.
All right?
I'm
going
in
to
the
start
zone.
off with one of my own, one of our own. Andy Carroll to Liverpool.
Shocker.
Okay, we'll talk about them afterwards. You got Fernando Torres to Chelsea.
Shocker.
Christopher Samba to QPR. It's got a bit of depth, that one. Need to know context behind that.
Okay.
Other notable ones, or non-notable, Kostas Mitroglou to Fulham, Badu and Dye to Stoke, Juan Cuadrado to Chelsea, 2015. You thought that there was somewhere in Cuadrado's career...
I thought he'd gone for a huge fee to Chelsea.
I don't disagree with you, but it's down as one of the worst transfers in January history.
Who else we got?
Kamaldeen Sulemana to Southampton, but my favourite of the lot is Dele Alli to Everton in 2022.
Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it? Now you know the context of the whole story with Dele Alli.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so number 5, who's in there?
I'm going...
I think I know my number 1.
Yeah, I probably do as well. I'd say number 5, just for the context, would be Samba to QPR. And the reason is they spent £12.5 million for him from Anzi Mashashkala.
Manja, Kutupana. Do you remember when that was a thing, by the way?
What?
Everyone was going to Russia.
Yeah. Roberto Carlos ended up at Anzi Mashashkala.
Isn't it pronounced Angie? Isn't that why it didn't work out? Because no one knew what Zs and Js were.
I'm not Russian. What was that?
Yeah, take your time.
What?
You're not Russian.
£12.5 million they signed him for. Guess his wage. This is in 2013. Christopher Samba.
25 grand a week.
£100,000 a week.
Illegal.
At QPR. Harry Redknapp's side were ultimately relegated in 20th place, and Samba went back to Anzi.
Angie. Okay, who we having at number 4? I'm happy with that.
Happy with that? Ooh, let's go. Let's discuss this Cuadrado deal.
I think Cuadrado is a really good player, and I actually think in the context now, 26 million quid is a fair signing. I know he didn't perform at Chelsea. That's the problem, but he did at Fiorentina, and he did at Juve. He was good at Juve as well.
Let me speak.
Okay, sorry.
Do you know the kicker?
My turn.
The kicker for me,
Yeah.
Mo Salah went the other way. So you think everyone calls him a Chelsea flop and all that sort of thing. The knock-on effect for me as a Liverpool fan, they get rid of him for Cuadrado. A couple of years later, we go and sign him. The rest is history.
But would Salah have been the player that he is now if he hadn't had that knockback where he wasn't feeling wanted at a club and then had to prove himself somewhere else? We don't know.
No. But that's what we're here to discuss.
The football butterfly effect right there.
Yeah. So 5 and 4.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I want to make a case for, and it is sad, I want to make a case for the Dele Alli to Everton.
The Dele Everton to Ali. Yeah, I think the whole situation is really sad. It makes me uncomfortable putting him in there. I also feel like the player that they thought they were signing would have been worth £100 million. You think about Dele Alli's career, fantastic at MK Dons in terms of a breakthrough season. Spurs, have we ever seen a youngster hit the ground running in the Premier League like Dele Alli?
There's also, what's interesting is when we come on to the top 5, his transfer from MK Dons to Spurs could also potentially be in that list. So how crazy is it that across the span of a player's career that you could have a
be
transfer,
the best and worst.
Right, it's incredible.
Wow.
So the context for me of this was that fee for Dele Alli could have ended up being upwards of £40 million,
Yeah.
which I think at the time no one would have really batted an eyelid at.
No, Alex Iwobi went for the same price to Everton.
Don't get me started on that. But because of lack of game time, struggling for fitness, obviously injuries played a big part in his career sort of all the way through.
And mental health.
It didn't even reach 10 million because of the nature of those add-ons. And he left on a free. So, 10 million to a free isn't actually that much of a loss for Everton from a business point of view.
In terms of the promise and what actually happened, I think it's reasonable to say he's in that top 5, and number 3 is fine for me.
Which is a shame because we like Dele Alli.
I love Dele Alli.
He did have a fantastic career, one of the biggest breakthroughs you've ever seen.
Nasty as well, loved it.
Got a bit about him, and then he just sort of all petered out for him, which is a shame.
Yeah. Number 2.
Men get sad too. Okay, let's talk about the top 2 then. Because you got Fernando Torres, Liverpool to Chelsea, Andy Carroll, Newcastle to Liverpool.
I'm having Torres number 2, Andy Carroll number 1.
I don't disagree. I think Torres at Chelsea was an absolute... It was like night
Won
and
a Champions
day.
League.
He did, but just the goals and the form. The 2 moments about Fernando Torres at Chelsea that stick out in my mind are the Gary Neville, and the miss against Man United.
Yeah, taking it around De Gea and then missing the open goal.
That doesn't happen in a Liverpool shirt. That would not have happened in a Liverpool shirt.
What happens mentally, because it wasn't a physical thing, but it did look like he lost a yard of pace when he moved. That can't happen in the space of 3 months because he was ripping it up at Liverpool. How do you go from... And it's, again, confidence is a huge factor in probably a lot of these transfers. But how do you go from the level of player that you were at Liverpool, move to Chelsea and be that bad?
I'll be really controversial. Maybe not so. Going from Liverpool and the way that the fans receive you and the whole club as a general, especially at that time, it was very much we didn't have these superstars. He came in and was adored.
He was a god.
He was a god for us. I had my email addresses, Fernando Torres, the background on my phone, everything. You then go to Chelsea, even back then, 2011, probably especially back then, you're just a number.
Yeah.
You're just a number, or you're just a cog in a wheel that is, 50 million quid back then is a lot of money. I think it was a brilliant transfer for us if he'd have then continued his form for Liverpool like that.
Was he not a £50 million player in terms of how well he was performing at that point of his career?
Yeah, I think he was.
But it was a huge fee at the time, yeah. And I think Torres can just about scrape being number 2 rather than number 1 because winning a Champions League, scoring an important goal in the build-up or in the lead-up to the final as well. I'm having number 1, Andy Carroll.
Disgrace.
£35 million.
Again in 2011.
I'll tell you something about Andy Carroll right now that might shock you. What a player.
I thought you were going to go through something very, very different then. There's story. Just search Andy
there's
Carroll.
a lot of stories about Andy Carroll. What a player, mate. On his day, Andy Carroll is unplayable.
Head in the air.
Still going.
He scored a few for us. Yeah,
he's still going right now.
Where is he? He's really lower league though, isn't
really
he? Local to somewhere in Newcastle.
Yeah.
I can't think of who it is.
Oh, that's stupid. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's even collecting a wage for it.
No, he's not. He's playing for free. But the expectation, he was doing it at Newcastle.
Yeah.
He was doing it. Unfortunately, if you're coming in to replace Fernando Torres, that bar is already set that you cannot drop anywhere.
But how did you spend that Torres money? Did you spend 35 on Carroll? Where was the rest of it spent?
Jovanovic.
And then how did you bring in Suarez after that?
There was a oh my God, I can't remember his name. I can see his face. He was a fullback as well. Danny Wilson.
Danny Wilson.
The
Danny Wilson money paid for Suarez.
Suarez money paid for Danny Wilson. Wait, no, the Torres money paid for Danny Wilson, Andy Carroll, and Jovanovic. That might be, when we get to the top 5, we're going to talk about 2 players that came at the same time for a massive club that could be some of the best business in January transfer window history. Sure. These could be the absolute worst business.
Yeah. Liverpool went through an unbelievable phase of just signing nonsense. The amount of players I'd see Liverpool sign. I used to laugh at you. And this is before me and you used to hang out. But I remember thinking, Liverpool they were a joke club to me. Because honestly,
I don't disagree, mate.
But you probably felt it as well at the time. Absolute nonsense players coming in. And I was thinking half of these players wouldn't even get into any other Premier League side, let alone Liverpool.
That period of about 5 to 10 years, you had players like Riera, Jovanovic.
Riera did all right after, though. Didn't he go to Lazio?
Yeah,
and rip it up?
For us, he scored 1 goal against Villa that I remember, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Charlie Adam, Christian Poulsen.
Oh,
You know, we're talking.
That's a shocker.
We are talking like Aquilani we killed him.
was he 25 million, Aquilani? Or something like that?
He
was expensive.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
Comes to us, absolute shocker.
Did he replace Xabi Alonso? Aquilani
Was meant to.
Okay.
Didn't replace him.
No, certainly
He
didn't.
barely played.
Okay, so
yeah.
that's our top 5 worst, and I think we can agree on those players. Obviously, in the comments, get in the comments. Let us know if there's anyone else that we haven't thought of. Probably the more controversial list is going to be the top 5 best players signed in January transfer windows. Do you think, before we go into it, any players signed in this window are going to ever enter this list? Dwight McNeil to rip it up at Palace?
He may well do. I like Dwight McNeil.
I think he's a good player. I think 20 million is pretty fair.
What you would need to do with some of these players that are going to come in this list for one of those to stand up and Dwight McNeil or Strand Larsen to sit down, you're going to have to see Crystal Palace win the Conference League.
Him score
25 goals between now and the rest of the season. They get Europe again.
Who did Dwight McNeil sign for?
Oh, wait. Palace, wasn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Strand Larsen signed
Strand
for
Larsen,
Palace.
sorry, for Palace, sorry.
Who did Dwight McNeil just sign for? Because why in my head am I thinking that he didn't sign for Palace? Dwight McNeil
We run a podcast.
I've literally just seen it come up on the TV screen as we were about to film this, as the deadline day window
Palace.
shut.
Palace.
So Palace have signed Strand Larsen. They've just spent 70 million quid on Strand.
Plus the Brennan Johnson money.
Oh my God.
That's
How much was
100
Brennan Johnson?
It totals about £100 million for McNeil, Johnson, Strand Larsen.
I like Strand Larsen. I like Dwight McNeil. I happen to not mind Brennan Johnson. Should be in the England side. That's a reference to a chomp. That's not real. £100 million. I think there's better ways of spending it.
Florian Wirtz. Right, I'm going to give you some. I'm going to give you some names before my personal shortlist.
Okay,
feel free to
chuck some names at me. I want to see names. I want to see figures. I want to see my emotions being toyed with. Carry on.
Mikel Arteta, Sociedad to Arsenal.
Great manager.
Aubameyang, Dortmund to Arsenal.
Terrible hair.
Gary Cahill, Bolton to Chelsea.
Plain face.
Ashley Cole.
Cashley Cole,
the big one, probably one of the most controversial of all time. Seamus Coleman, I think it's a shame because
it's a Seamus.
It's a Seamus Coleman. He's never going to get in. He's never going to get into these lists. But what a stalwart for Everton.
It would cost absolutely nothing.
No, and a loyal servant to the club.
Good player.
Philippe Coutinho.
Gay.
Now.
As a rumour, I don't know if that's true.
That in terms of business, to take him from how much we spent for him at Inter to how much we sold him for,
huge.
And for the actual signing and how well he did to transfer to Liverpool.
And I'll tell you what, right, about Philippe Coutinho. I remember when Coutinho was coming through at Liverpool as well, when he was just starting to break into the first team and get a bit of minutes, we were bringing through Adnan Januzaj as well. And I remember the conversation about Januzaj versus Coutinho, and I'd have taken Januzaj 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 over Coutinho. What do I know anything about football?
Yeah, but you're allowed to.
But how good was Januzaj when he first came through?
Yeah, and it's these young, exciting players that we're not used to seeing, foreign players that have got something different about Coutinho on the ball and Januzaj on the ball. You just don't see it that often.
Coutinho was a phenomenal player for Liverpool, fair play.
Jermaine Defoe, Luis Diaz, Edin Dzeko, Ivanovic to Chelsea. That's a huge one.
Yeah, he's big boned
for what he did for Chelsea. Nemanja Matic,
love Matic.
Kieran Trippier. Don't know why he's in that list. And then I'll move on to the ones that I think should be in this list.
Okay, go on.
Patrice Evra and Nemanja Vidic.
Legends.
Bruno Fernandes.
Legend.
Bruno Guimaraes,
What a player.
Luis Suarez,
Hate him.
Virgil van Dijk. So
Washed.
there's 6 there that I want us to try and narrow down to the 5.
I'm going to tell you some players that I want in there 100%. I want to see Vidic in there.
Yes.
I want to see Van Dijk in there.
Has to be.
I want to see Bruno Fernandes in there.
Let you have it.
I think Ivanovic is a cracking signing, but do I want him in there? No. I think Matic was a cracking signing. Do I want him in there? No.
Guimaraes?
Bruno Guimaraes, I think for what he's done for Newcastle in terms of getting them to a point where they can win a trophy, which they haven't done, I think he's got to be in there. I'm having Fernandes. I'm having Van Dijk. I'm having Vidic. I'm having Bruno Guimaraes.
So we've basically got Evra, Suarez to knock one of those out.
I might have to knock Guimaraes out for Suarez. All right, I'm having Fernandes, Suarez, Van Dijk. I'm having Vidic, and I'm having either Evra or Ashley Cole. I'll let you make that decision.
I hate it, but I'm going Evra.
As a United fan, I'm comparing the two players and who was the best left back, and I think Ashley Cole.
Yes. Yeah.
But whatever won.
Just to rein it back in about the best signing, you've got to take that contextually with the whole club. Evra did more for and at United than Cole did at Chelsea.
Cole won a Champions League, won 2-3 Premier Leagues, I think.
Evra won 2 Champions League, didn't he?
One Champions League in 2008.
And about 65 league titles.
Probably about 4 or 5 league titles. I'm going to take my bias hat off. I'm going to go with Ashley Cole.
Okay. Well, you've let me have Suarez and Van Dijk in that list.
Okay. So, who's number 5?
I will say Luis Suarez.
Luis Suarez, I'll agree with that. Number 4?
Bruno Fernandes.
Number 3?
Evra.
I'll go Van Dijk at number 3. Number 2?
Vidic.
I'll go Ashley Cole, and number 1, I'll go Vidic. Put my biased Man United hat straight back on.
I go Van Dijk at number 1 from a bias hat straight back on.
Van Dijk over Vidic?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Yeah. Nemanja Vidic, who played alongside the likes of... No. The Evras, the Ferdinands. Was Gary Neville still knocking about, or was it the Raphaels? So you got...
Gary.
For me, you put... Not anyone, because Vidic was fantastic, and I do feel like he is underrated.
2-time Player of the Year.
Yeah, I also...
You think about players that win Premier League Player of the Year. We're talking Henry. We're talking Wayne Rooney.
Mo Salah.
Nemanja Vidic, 2-time Premier League
that shouldn't be overlooked.
Player of the Year.
Vidic is the only player I can think of right now that is both equally underrated and overrated. I think that everyone else underrates him. As a Liverpool fan, we think it's hilarious because the myth of Torres used to walk
and it is a myth.
Dog.
It is a myth, Brand.
Right.
Scored like 3 goals in 15 games against him.
Yeah, took him to the cleaners. I just think that you could put a number of centre-backs in that fantastic back four alongside Rio Ferdinand. And, of course, we'll never know, and it's all if, buts and maybes. But you already had a solid 3. With us, Van Dijk completely changed Liverpool and then went on to...
Yes, but take into context the amount you had to pay to get that. I think if we're looking at January transfers, we're not comparing just the player and how good the player was. How much was Vidic? How much was Van Dijk? You'd have got 4 Vidics for the price of Van Dijk. You got exactly the same level of player out of Vidic. I'm going Vidic number 1, and you should agree.
Vidic.
Let us know in the comments. Yeah. Because it is a This Week on Football episode, we will be doing a chomp. The winner of the weekend treble every week. If we both win, we spin the wheel, of course. If we both lose, we spin the wheel. The weekend trebles are our chance to give back to you. It's where we win you money collectively. Unfortunately, last week we both lost. But the week before that, we both won. So stay with us. I am plus £49. You are minus 99p, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not ideal, but we've got our weekend trebles. Brand, kick us off. Who are your 3 picks for this weekend?
I'm going straight back to the A-League, my friend.
I love it when you do it.
Brisbane Roar, Central Coast Mariners. What do you think I've gone for?
Over 2.5 goals.
Correct. Bayern Munich to beat Hoffenheim at home. Inter to beat Sassuolo away, £10 on. Gets you £32.66 back.
Corker, like it. Probably going to win. Mine, I have got Man United versus Tottenham over 1.5 goals.
Nice, safe.
I have got
Alzheimer's.
Hull versus Bristol City over 1.5 goals.
Rogue.
And my final selection, which this is rogue, Villa over 1.5 goals away at Bournemouth.
Yeah, I can see that.
£10 on returns you 26 something. I don't know. You'll see it right there. I can't remember, and I didn't write it down. We'll do a chomp for new viewers. Chomp is our opportunity to get back at everyone in the world and get people biting in the comments, which we love doing. You'll hear shouts like Wirtz is better than Ronaldo, like Brennan Johnson should be in the England side, like Emma Hayes should be the next Chelsea manager. We'll be chomping Joey Barton. We got Joey Barton on chomp. We chomped Bevo multiple times. We're chomping the whole of TikTok, basically, when we do this.
We get a lot of hate, whether it's on a chomp or not on a chomp.
True.
And so just to ramp that up a little bit more, we think it's a great idea to intentionally do that.
Yeah.
But it also makes us laugh because watching people
lose their shit, Brandon.
Believing it, calling us the biggest idiots there's ever been. I've been fat, puffy, wife's cheating on me, brain dead, podcast equipment should cost more, and we love it. Do you know why? Because it helps us get out to you guys.
It's the love of the game. So this week we comprised a chomp, which is going to be based around the Carabao Cup this week. So a couple of things that you'll hear that we are going to note. We're going to have a conversation about the Carabao Cup, or as you're going to hear, the Carabao Cup. We're going to suggest that the Carabao Cup should be played abroad, somewhere in maybe France, like Rome. We're going to be suggesting different cities. Because we both lost last week, we thought it's only fair that we both do the chomp, and we're going to be both public enemy number 1 and 2 on social media this week. Okay, let's really try and sell this.
This is when we both do it, and it's not me thinking about how much hate I'm going to get, which I do like, but just it does still make you go, oh God, I'm going to check this TikTok every 5 seconds. I like this that we're both in on it.
It's the first one we've done together.
Yeah, I've done one with Vince.
No, we did one together when we said Ronaldo is better than Messi, and Vince had to sit there as the adjudicator. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth, and what I tend to do is we have a little conversation, I clip up and take different parts, make it a minute-long video, it pays us money, and then we move on with our lives.
Sometimes.
After our credibility has been completely ruined. Okay. Do you know what I've been thinking?
Go on.
I really like the idea that the Carabao Cup would be played abroad rather than in England. Hear me out.
Okay.
Let me land.
Yeah.
If you took it abroad, so say somewhere outside of Europe, Rome, Paris, somewhere like that, give the opportunity to other people who might not necessarily get to watch a Premier League quality side every week. Mm-hmm. I think that could be good for revenue. I think it'd be good for the game.
Yeah.
I like the idea of what they did with the Copa del Rey in Spain.
The words out of my mouth.
They took it to Saudi Arabia. Again, I know that's inside Europe, but they're taking it away from the home country.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Yeah, I do as well. And you get the main point there is giving the people outside of Europe, you know, the French and other people, other fans that might support these big teams, Newcastle, City, Liverpool, Man United, to get a chance to watch them in the Carabao Cup. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think we should be really, really thinking about either having it there or at the very least giving that position to giving the winner a Champions League spot.
Interesting, because the way I view the Carabao Cup, I would say that it is a Mickey Mouse trophy.
Right.
I think it is on par with the Community Shield. It is a glorified friendly for me. So why not chuck it abroad? Why not put it in Spain, Italy? You could even go somewhere in Europe like France. I don't know. I'd like it to be played somewhere else other than Wembley.
I can't do it.
Is that as far as we can go?
I can't do it anymore. The way you said Spain, Italy, and somewhere outside of Europe like France.
I think
Genius.
you can understand if you got all the way to this point in the video why people hate us.
Yeah.
But the great thing is you're involved in it with us. You're in on it.
Yeah. And if you do like that sort of stupid, cringy stuff, which we're open. If you say this is an absolute terrible idea, stop watching it, but we really liked your top fives, then we'll just do top fives.
No, we won't. I'll be doing chomps until the day I die. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I don't even care if you click like on this video.
Please
if you unsubscribe. I don't care,
do that.
Brandon.
Please
I
don't.
don't care. Please like, please subscribe. We'll be back next week, next Monday and Wednesday, and every Monday and Wednesday for the rest of the season. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe, like, comment. We're on the go on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, called Goalpost. We are also on our own TikTok channels and Instagram channels, Alex Goalpost and Was Goalpost. Take that information in, use it, go home, think about it, come back. We'll see you next week.
Love you.